Before you make your next move to Colorado, we figured we would help you by capping the end of the year with giving you the top 10 questions we've had from our clients that moved to Colorado in 2025. So today we're gonna be answering all 10. They definitely pertain to you. You're definitely gonna wanna stay tuned. If you're looking at 2026 and beyond in Colorado, Denver Metro specifically, this is for you.
All right, let's get to it.
All right, now before we get started, we're gonna give you guys a little context on where we're at. We're at 16th Street Mall, 16th Street. They poured a ton of money into it. It's beautiful. We've been taking a walk around. We're gonna show you guys some of that B-roll, some things to look forward to. Shout out to Mimi Bubble Tea, by the way. This is amazing. He didn't want one. I always want one. Excited for that. So enjoy some of the B-roll when it comes to 16th Street. We've been talking a lot about it on our lives and things like that. So more importantly, we're gonna get into the top 10 questions that we think are most important to you guys moving to Denver, because these are the top 10 we found from the clients that moved here in 2025. So without further ado, beyond these bubble teas, let's get right into it.
There we go. And what we're gonna do here as far as format, I'm gonna ask the question, and then Will and we might have a different perspective. A lot of you guys that watch our channel, you like when we have difference of opinions or different perspectives. So we're gonna share both of ours. I'm sure we'll be in alignment on a lot of these.
Try not to.
Will does not know what these questions are, so you're gonna get his first real-time live reactions, and we'll see how it goes here. All right, so question number one, jumping right to it. Are there still affordable areas left near Denver, or is that basically gone?
No.
There we go. There we go.
There are. I guess affordability is subjective, right? We tend to use a middle number of like 500,000. I remember when the average price point in Colorado broke the $500,000 price point, and it was like, man, like, what does that look like? Because for the long time it wasn't, and breaking this $500,000 price point on homes was unheard of, even just across the country, unless you were looking at New York, Chicago, Southern California, the Bay Area. For Colorado to do that about what, 3 years ago? 2 years ago?
Pre-COVID, way longer.
I guess it was maybe a little bit longer. Like,
we're getting old, bro. We're getting old,
Oh, man.
Maybe like 2017, 2018?
Yeah, potentially. So it is subjective. Now, they are doing some things with some rates. They are extending mortgages. There's some things you can play with there. There's concessions you can get from sellers to help give you a 2 or even 3-1 buy down to help with your overall cost. So when I say subjective, it's not just to what I think is expensive compared to what you guys think is expensive. It's also how loans and different incentives are structured to help the overall affordability. But definitely, I guess it's a hard one because across the entire country, things have gotten more expensive. There are some things you can still get into that I would say are the 500 mark, 440 mark in and around Denver.
Yeah, and if you are willing to go a little bit outside of Denver, there are more affordable, quote unquote, affordable housing developments being built than we ever have here in Colorado before. For example, you've got Aurora Highlands out there near 470 and I-70, closer out to the airport, and they're making some changes on those homes. So for example, they're building a lot of those without basements. And most all homes have always been built with a basement, but they're like, hey, if we can shave off, $100,000 from a price point, and maybe there's a smaller yard and no basement, but it means more affordability on a new build home.
And really what Eli is getting at, if you guys want to look at something that we always look at when we walk through things with our clients, is really this, like regardless of price point, 500, 5 million, you're always going to be looking at size, condition, and location as your 3 main factors when it comes to. So if you're looking at having a decreased price, a more affordable price, you're going to sacrifice or I guess just be a little bit more flexible on size or location depending on where you want to be. If you're looking at, hey, I can't sacrifice on size because I have to have a bigger home because I've got a large family, well then condition of said home or location of said home are the variables. Either way, there's even things down into like the mid 3s and low 3s that you guys can get into. So all jokes aside, no, there are some things you've got to get creative with the financing side, some incentives from sellers and location, but there are more than enough that you can find. Yeah,
and to give you guys a quick summary, now that you've listened to all of this, there are good new build, affordable, single family homes, brand new in the 650 range. If you are willing to go towards, or not willing, but if a condo or townhome better suits your lifestyle, then there are those in the mid 3s to mid 4s that are in or very close to Denver.
Some of them are pretty awesome too. A lot of them, like even for myself, I could fit my family inside of them. So depending on what you're looking for, a lot of them are pretty awesome as well. Like even for myself, having a larger family, we could do some of these. And what I'm really trying to say, especially with these new builds, is the different types of floor plans that they have and the rooftop decks that they provide. There's such a different experience when it comes to these townhomes and condos or row homes that can be amazing. I would definitely turn those stones if you're looking at keeping some of your costs down and just looking at a different way that you could live. A lot of it is really pretty cool.
All right, question number 2. Let's see here. If you had to pick one area to live for the best lifestyle, where would you choose? That's another loaded question. Depends on what you're talking about with lifestyle,
Eli
right?
was a drummer in a rock band. So we're gonna ask him first because he's more of like that lively nightlife.
Let's break this into 3 different types of lifestyles, since it wasn't really specified what type of lifestyle they're looking for. Let's say section 1 will be walkability and restaurants, right? More faster paced city lifestyle. Second to that, let's say quiet, suburban, good schools, things like that.
Sure.
Thirdly, let's say close to mountains, like nature lifestyle. First off, let's talk restaurants, walkability. Lower Highlands would probably be my #1 pick for walkability restaurants and things like that. Second to that, if we're still looking for a quicker paced lifestyle, I would say Cherry Creek.
Cherry Creek's pretty cool. And you're also just getting a lot of great things within Castle Rock and Lone Tree and Castle Pines. There's just a lot of these different little ecosystems that have great nightlife as far as the nightlife that I like. Here's what I will say, as you guys can see some of these trucks passing behind us. Denver is the city you least need to live inside of to enjoy out of probably a lot of different large cities across the country. Your ability to commute in and out of the city is amazing and a lot more doable than people think, especially once they get here. So what I'll say tactically, from what a lot of our clients have experienced since they've come here through 2025, they're able to enjoy a lot of the outside of the city perspectives with suburbias or mountain areas because of how well they can commute in and out of the city. So the need or necessity to live somewhere to enjoy some of the atmospherics of it is definitely not true. I would be looking at 45 minutes to an hour from Denver and in. More than doable going in and out and just prioritizing what you want to live like as far as like what's important to you. Now, here's what I will say. The one thing that's been unanimous, we have snow here.
We do.
We get more sunny days in Florida. I talk about it all the time. It's science. Don't start with me. Here's what I'm getting at though. The snow that we do get, it's real snow. And the closer you get to the mountains, it's even more real snow. So a lot of folks that like getting into Evergreen or even closer into like the west sides of like Golden, they're not necessarily quite ready for that level of inclement weather. So if you think you need to be right up against the mountains to enjoy some of those things, keep an open mind as well, because some of just the overall property maintenance as you get closer or into the mountains could be a lot more work than you might be willing to do, depending on where you're coming from.
Now, if we're looking at your preferred lifestyle being quiet, suburban, family-friendly, good school, neighborhood, things like that, I would say my #1 pick, you guys can probably guess it already, is Castle Rock. You know, when you're looking at the community aspect of the old downtown area of Castle Rock and all of the neighborhood choices that you have within the city of Castle Rock, that mixed with affordability and nature, I think that's a #1 contender.
If I'm gonna pick somewhere specifically just for our needs, and if it's gonna be outside of where we currently live, just to give you guys something different, I would say if I weren't living where I was at right now, out by the water in South Shore, I would be in backcountry. The views in backcountry, the school districts and private school opportunities, the commute on and off of 470 to get wherever I need as far as being in real estate, being far enough away from the mountains where like I'm getting normal Colorado inclement weather, but I can still commute again because of 470 would be awesome. I'm not terribly far from the airport. I can also fly out of Centennial, which is a great option. So for us, if it weren't South Shore, it would be backcountry. We just did a video on backcountry. We did. This past Saturday, by the way, and it was awesome. So, and I'm being specific to backcountry. I'm not just saying Highlands Ranch. I'm saying backcountry inside of Highlands Ranch.
For the third lifestyle bucket here.
Almost had to save Eli's life.
Thank you. Now, for the third lifestyle bucket here of nature, proximity to mountains, outdoor activities all year long, and the best possible views while still being within the Denver metro area. That's the caveat. We still got to be in the Denver metro area. I might have to pick.
Wait, don't pick.
Oh,
let me pick.
Let's hear. Okay, you pick
Are
first.
you going to talk about Sterling Ranch?
I am going to. Okay, we're in alignment here. Okay. Sterling Ranch. Tell them about Sterling Ranch.
It's right up on Roxborough Park, which is one of your most beautiful parks here in Colorado. You've got, not only is it a little smart city where you've got different things that happen as far as like if a kid's missing, they flash lights red inside the neighborhoods. It's got literally recyclable rainwater. They've done amazing stuff. We've talked a lot about Sterling Ranch. School districts are great out there, but Roxborough Park, the trails in and out and the views that you get, it's about as close as you can get to the mountains without dealing with some of that more inclement weather that I've been talking about, right? So it's breathtaking.
And you're right by Chatfield State Park.
Correct.
So within 10 minutes, you have 2 state parks that you're nestled right in between. You're as close to the foothills as you can be without going into the foothills. So that means your views pretty much anywhere within the neighborhood are absolutely spectacular. Throw some affordability on there as well. We've had some clients get some great deals with some of the builders that are in that community, and there's a ton of builders there.
Even now, as we're looking at into 2026 through January, February, they're still talking about incentives. There's for your rate buy downs. There's a lot of things you guys can do creatively with builders. I would definitely be turning that stone.
All right, now question number 3. What's the best suburb if you want newer homes but don't want to feel too far out? let's define far out first. You set a good radius earlier of about 45 minutes from downtown Denver, right?
Even an hour, but that's for me because I don't have to come into the city that much. So I'm okay to be an hour away from Denver, downtown Denver, because we just don't need to come here a lot unless it's for a game or things like that. But if you want to shrink that down to like 45 minutes, definitely doable.
Let's do this. Let's shrink it down even further. If you're really not wanting to feel too far out, because honestly, as much as I love Castle Rock, I don't think Castle Rock is too far out by any means.
37 minutes to 34 minutes.
37 minutes. However, let's pretend like that is too far for the sake of this conversation. Because if someone's asking this question, my guess is they want to be still fairly close to the mix. I would say Lone Tree, as far as suburban areas.
Yeah.
Now, Lone Tree has so much going on right in the middle of it, and so much going on already, and then so much more to come. But you're located 10, 12 minutes north of Castle Rock. You are on the south side of the Denver metro area, but you're looking at probably 25 minutes to downtown Denver. You've got the light rail right there, so you can easily drive 5 minutes, park your car, take it downtown to games, take it out to DIA. And there's so much just nightlife that happens around there, restaurants, all the shopping you could possibly want, all while still having good suburban neighborhoods.
You do. I think I might go Parker. If I'm going to go as far as Lone Tree, I would just venture off onto the east side of I-25 because Parker's grown almost up to the backyard of I-25. So I would almost venture to just give an extra 5-6 minutes and I would go into Parker. You've got some great lots out there. You still got some new builds out there, but you've also got some opportunities to have a little bit of land. And it's a slightly slower pace. Like I enjoy Lone Tree for what it is, but I like going to Lone Tree. They've got a great Cabela's there. Our son was born there at one of the hospitals in Lone Tree. Amazing spot, but sometimes the lot size are just a little bit on top of each other unless you're out on the golf course. There's some great neighborhoods. But for me, if I'm gonna go as far as just going south to Lone Tree, if I take an extra 5 to 6 minutes to just head east off of I-25, once I get to Lone Tree, I could be in Parker. I think I'd be there.
Yeah, that's actually a good point because it is definitely going to have more of a suburban feel there. If you guys are looking, just as an honorable mention, for something even a little bit closer, I would say even Centennial or Southeast Aurora. Centennial's going to get you a little bit closer.
Homes at?
Lone Tree.
Ridgegate
at Lone Tree.
Ridgegate.
Yep.
So Ridgegate's amazing because technically it is Lone Tree, but it's on the east side of the highway and it's just a little bit more quiet, but it's got the pickleball courts. It's got a restaurant that's going in. Ridgegate and the homes there are beautiful. Yeah. Ridgegate is probably the middle ground.
And if you guys are okay with a little bit older homes, Centennial is a phenomenal option. You know, the one caveat to getting these slightly older homes.
As in like Green Valley or Greenwood Village?
No,
Centennial?
like, real Centennial.
Okay.
Out kind of
like off of Arapahoe Road. Yeah, great spot.
Where you've got slightly older homes, but really good sized yards, really mature trees. A lot of
traditional neighborhoods, developed, established neighborhoods.
You're
really
still
good.
Cherry Creek School District within there. When you're in these established neighborhoods, is you do have deep community relationships within those communities. That is something where it's like, it just feels obviously less new because it is less new, but the community deepens there, I feel.
Now, Centennial falls into Denver Public Schools?
Cherry Creek.
Cherry Creek Schools, correct? Like Cherry Creek High School is right there. Okay, great.
All right, question number 4. This is one that we get all the time from you guys. How bad is the hail or the wildfires and smoke in the summer, and does it actually affect your day-to-day life?
No.
Let's talk about it. Yes.
It's definitely not as much as you probably hear on the news or as you probably get out there. I know you're going to cover like the hail and the insurance and getting free roofs every couple of years if you need it. We haven't had to do it. We live in Southeast Aurora. Things have been fine. You get a couple storms each year. They don't necessarily cover all areas. So, you know, like sometimes Parker gets hit hard, but Southeast Aurora doesn't. So it's definitely not as much as you might think. Wildfires have been a hot topic. Typically, there were a couple of them last year were like, oh, I'm sorry. I think they were man-made. That's if that's the right way to put it. But if you're looking at per cap, we've done this before in some of our videos.
Yeah.
When you're looking at like fires here compared to like other wildlife style states, we're actually one of the lowest, if not the lowest.
Yeah, so here's the deal. Let's talk about hail first. So with hail, it is definitely a factor. There is multiple hailstorms that will occur throughout our springtime and early summer. We do have a hail season for sure. For real life examples though, you know, in the 25 years I've lived here, I've had to make one hail deductible claim on my vehicle, right? We drive all the time. We're out in it all the time.
And I never have, and I'm a native.
Yeah, and I've never really been able to park in our garage either. So it is definitely a thing. It might happen when you live here, but it's definitely nothing that's going to impact your day-to-day life.
And it's not something that Colorado's not prepared for where you can get your things fixed or mitigated.
Yeah, and then speaking of fires, what is nice about the way that Denver is constructed is around us, around the entire Denver metro area, you don't live in the mountains. You don't live surrounded by trees. A lot of places like California, I mean, they're living
right up on it.
Yeah, you're right there. You're building on the hills, and that's where you see just these like giant neighborhoods neighborhoods engulfed
you'll
by
get
flames.
some up northwest as you get like Highway 36, as you get in and around toward Boulder, but you're in, the mountains and things like that, things to be worried about. Now, we did have a fire in Superior a couple of years ago.
Yes, yep.
This is what we're hearing. Don't quote me. I know there was lawsuits of the power company saying it wasn't their fault, other people saying it was. Apparently the winds were so bad that it broke some of the cables. The cables went down into like some wheat fields, and that's what started the fires. Now, what they've done, since then is when we've got high wind alerts out here in Colorado, Xcel actually sends out alerts via text message and emails and on the TV saying, hey, if it exceeds a certain amount, we're going to be shutting off Xcel power to prevent any fires, et cetera, et cetera. And then it would just be monetary until the winds slow down and you can be prepared for it. I think we had about a 48-hour or 72-hour notice from the news of just, hey, this could be coming in with winds. This could be happening. I'm not sure if they shut it off or not. Did they?
Depending on
where we were at, they didn't, but they've definitely been mitigated and prepared for that. And that's happened once since I've lived here my entire life. But it's things that you guys have to consider. It's not that we want to downplay these or make them seem like they're not important. Of course they're important. And I'm sure a lot of states, everybody kind of has the things that they have to deal with, and there's the juice worth to squeeze on them and things like that. But we also know that some things can be blown out of proportion.
Yeah, well, and as far as day-to-day life, this summer was almost nothing here, but we're more impacted from the smoke from other states surrounding fires.
So you hear that a lot, like, hey, Colorado or Denver looks smoky right now. It's like, yeah, tell Wyoming and California to cut it out.
Even Canada.
Yeah, it's not Colorado.
Yeah, you'll have these Canadian fires, California fires, Wyoming, Montana, and then that smoke does blow through here due to the jet stream.
Well, the jet stream, and we're also at altitude, and I'm sure just, do the science on it. But a lot of times, but it's still something to consider. You guys have to deal with those things. And overall, just discovering hey, the things that you got to put up with in Colorado with high altitude, is it worth it? I've lived in a lot of states through my military career and you name it, and this is still one of the best places I think I've ever lived.
Yeah, and now if you guys are looking to move in the mountains, there's certain things you have to do with your house.
You're gonna have more fire insurance,
clearing brush around there.
Clear brush, clear trees. And that's mountain living is a completely different thing than being in Colorado, enjoying the mountains, but still having that suburban life.
But as far as our normal day-to-day Denver metro area, it's probably gonna impact you zero.
Right.
All right, question number 5. What's winter like day to day? Is it snowy nonstop or pretty manageable? Well, let's give some real life context. It is right now
December 23rd.
December 23rd. We're in downtown. I'm in a t-shirt. It's 63, 65 degrees out right now.
Eli's been leaning out, getting all shredded like me. I stay covered. I'm modest. I'm appropriate. He likes to be. I don't know what he's doing on this channel.
Right. Now, if that answers your question,
it doesn't.
Here's what I would say.
It's more than doable. We get more sunny days than Florida. The biggest thing, two main contributors. When it snows here, we get sun within a day or two, and that helps melt it. Secondly, one of the best things about Colorado that I'm proud of is our infrastructure with how well snow plows and shovels and everybody's out mitigating the roads, highways and byways, you name it. I have never been to a state that handles inclement weather as well as Colorado, and that's including I-25 and I-70 during those inclement times. They literally understand the weather so well. You've got trucks that are out there ahead of time. You have trucks that are out there on the highway several times a night that do things. It is phenomenal compared to some places that I've lived as far as overall. So not only does it melt pretty quickly here, but even during those times, they're keeping roads pretty clear for the most part. Minus, depending on what neighborhood you live in, you might have to shovel your own driveway or get off of your own street, but then that next main street, you're okay.
Yeah, now that also doesn't mean that we don't get real winter here. We always do. I feel like every December of every year, I start wondering, man, are we ever gonna get winter? Because you will see some warm days through the end of the year, right? But then inevitably, come January, February, it feels like real winter. It does get cold out. Although how sunny it is, I could also be wearing this in the middle of January, but I also have a jacket in the car because as soon as that sun goes down even a little bit, it's gonna get cold again.
Correct. The one thing you're gonna have to watch out for is it can go from being really warm and sunny to late afternoon, that storm blow in and get really cold really fast, and that creates sleet and ice on the roads, and you just have to really adapt and just proceed with caution and drive. And if you think you're a great driver, great. Well, not every driver is a great driver. So just because you're not going to mess it up doesn't mean someone else can't mess it up and crash into you. So if there's times where you can leave work early and leave at 3 o'clock versus 6 o'clock, you're better off for it. A lot of employers allow you to do that when they know a storm's coming in. But with our altitude and with how storms blowing here, I mean, it can change like that and be a completely different day. Definitely be careful, especially in the immediate inclement weather change before plows even have a chance to really do something about it.
Well, man, and if you guys are coming from the Midwest or the East Coast,
you probably get it.
You're going to think our winters are a joke.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Like, even when it's cold, like cold in Colorado is 15, 20 degrees. a lot of you guys are coming from places that are 0 or negatives.
Yeah, our two extremes, like in the summers, we'll get about a week of 100-degree weather, 102, 103. This past summer, we didn't really get that high.
Yeah,
but typically
easy.
like the first week of August, second week of August.
It gets pretty warm.
It gets pretty warm. And then our extreme cold is we might have a week of 0.
Yeah.
Maybe a -1, but that's pretty much where we hover on the extremes.
Yeah.
And everything else tends to fit. And then I guess season change, when you're coming into fall or when we're coming into the spring, you get that jet stream, yada, yada thing. And it gets really windy for about a week or so.
Yeah. Now, number 6, one of my favorite questions, because this is one Will and I always go back and forth on. Do you need all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive to live in Denver,
Yes.
or is that a Colorado myth?
Yes, of course you do. And again, I've said this before, it's not just to get out and survive. It's because you want to go out and enjoy Colorado and everything that it has to offer
100%.
in all seasons.
Yes.
I also feel like it's just the safer you can be, the better. Like that might be the
Absolutely.
police officer in me. The safer you can be, the better. You know, his two-wheel, like he was in a band. Remember that? Like it wasn't the Red Hot Chili Peppers. It was some other band where he probably had to put chains on his two-wheel drive Honda Civic that was from 1987. Who knows? But either way, like you shouldn't be driving around like that out here.
Yeah,
No.
exactly. If you are in a two-wheel drive, you will have some awkward moments where you're at a stoplight and you're the first one in line and you got to go and you can't go and your wheels are just spinning. That for sure will happen.
And we've got plenty of public transportation. It's not necessarily
Yeah.
a Chicago or a Washington, D.C., but if it's that inclement and you're worried about it, you could at least just drive to one of the light rails or take some public transportation, bus, light rail, you name it, and still get by. Like if you're just having to get to work and back, there's public transportation that can take you as well, but strongly recommended.
Yeah.
There's going to be someone out there that challenges it and documents
I like
a year's
strong
worth of two-wheel drive.
recommendation. Yeah, strong recommendation is good. I 100%
And again, you want to
agree with
enjoy
that.
Colorado too, right? So it's not just
Yes.
about whether you can get by on two-wheel drive. It's you want to be getting in the mountains and having some fun and enjoying while you're here.
Totally. Now, is it a prerequisite before you move here? 100% no. Again, our snowstorms are spaced out a ton. You're gonna have advance notice.
Yeah, like if you work from home and we get a couple, maybe 2 bad snowstorms a year that are about a foot of snow,
Yep.
and you're kind of snowed in for a day and you're cool with that because you got plenty of groceries and you're good and you work from home, it's definitely not going to be a
Yeah,
problem.
I will tell you where it's the worst though. It's the worst in the neighborhoods. It's the worst getting out of your driveway after the snowplows have come through and you have a big berm in front of your driveway. If you're not shoveling through that, you're definitely not going to drive through it. So
Agreed.
that's where your two-wheel drive will get 100% stuck. Even if all the main roads are clear, your buddies are telling you on the phone, oh, the roads are just wet. It's okay. You're probably going to get stuck in your neighborhood.
Correct.
So keep that in mind. But if you don't have one right when you move here, it's okay. You're going to have some time to get one, but strongly recommended we'll go with.
Agreed.
All right, now number 7, I thought this was a great question that we got here. One that's probably honestly not asked enough. Which neighborhoods look great online, but feel totally different in real life? This can be from two perspectives, right? This can be they're not as good as in real life, or man, I did not think this neighborhood was gonna look this good as it did online.
I'll start with the latter.
Okay.
Arvada.
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew, give them context on that.
I don't
knew
have
you were gonna
context.
say Arvada.
I don't know. I don't like the commute in and out of Arvada. I don't like how it's structured right off the highway. The way that they structure some of the neighborhoods and how it doesn't marry up to the shopping. Like it just doesn't have as well of a flow. I almost feel like it's on the side. And it's closer to the mountains in a Southeast Aurora or a Castle Pines, Castle Rock. It's closer to the mountains, but I feel like it's almost on the hill of the mountains.
Okay,
So
yeah.
everything is like this. Like you're getting off the highway and you're kind of turning on the highway like this, and then everything just kind of stays that way. And I don't feel like it's got a great flow to it. You know, you've got some decent homes, but even some of the styles out there, like I don't have a rhyme or reason. I'm not saying it's a bad spot. And there's also some spots that still require flood insurance out there.
Yeah.
And even some of that gets a little weird. Obviously, we can help you guys out with that stuff and make sure you're in a good spot and you're not paying for flood insurance more than you should, right? But some of these flood zones are from like 1812
Yeah.
and they've been fixed and mitigated, yet they're still calling them flood zones and you're still getting flood zone style insurance. And it just, things like that bother me, and I don't think it's worth the extra cost for where you're located off the highway, even though like technically you're closer. Like for example, if you were at a concert and you get row 3, but you're on the side of the stage versus the front of the stage, like technically you're closer, but it's not necessarily a better view. And then
right.
getting in and out of the side from where your chairs are out on the stage and trying to get the guy to bring you a beer or where the restrooms are located, it's just not set up to sit on the side of the stage. Everything is focused on all the other focal points, and that's where all the flow is, interest is, exits, food, you name it. The side is like, And that's how I feel Arvada is. You're closer to the mountains per se. I just don't like the setup. Some people really enjoy it. My opinion needs to say out of that for them. You're going to see some beautiful homes online, and then, you might see a backdrop of like some mountains by it, and like, man, really cool. And like, you're going to get there, and the feng shui of it all is just not going to do you any good.
Even the downtown area will look super cute online. It is kind of underwhelming when you're there.
Catfishy.
Right? Yeah. It's a little.
Arvada, we're on to you.
It's a little catfishy. Now let's look at the other perspective of, man, online doesn't do this place justice. That's another Sterling Ranch for me, where I feel like you'll be looking at homes online. Maybe they look like a lot of them are very close together. Maybe it looks like the yards are small, cookie cutter, even though it definitely is not cookie cutter. But then you get out there and you see the giant mountains and foothills that literally are your backyard. And there are like 13 or 15 different builders out there. So you definitely don't have cookie cutter. You do have smaller lots on a lot of them, but you're utilizing the outdoor space for the outdoors. Your backyard is for your dogs to have a place to lay down and go to the potty and, maybe play a little bit.
Yeah, Castle Rock for me. We've kind of showed it on our YouTube lives where we go through Google Earth and show you guys the valley. I used to live on top of Castle Rock in a place called Diamond Ridge where it overlooks all of Castle Rock and all the way through Pikes Peak. You look at that at sunrise or sunset and it's outrageously good. And there's nothing out there online that's going to really depict the atmospherics of being out there. Matter of fact, when we're showing certain types of homes in Castle Rock, we will specifically set up showings during sunset just so you guys can enjoy some of those things and really feel like, hey, if you were to live here, this is what it feels like during this time. And it's awesome. And when the snow falls and you can see it across the entire valley, awesome. Now, the commute, 10 minutes in and out of Diamond Ridge, once you get off of Crowfoot Valley, I wasn't that big of a fan. I didn't like, once I got to my neighborhood, it took me another 10 minutes. I didn't like the commute down the mountain or up the mountain. However, it's a beautiful view. And you're just not going to get anything online that really shows that. And to get that level of view in valley in the mountains, but be 34 minutes from downtown Denver, there's nothing like it. The only thing you can kind of compare it to view-wise is Boulder. We all know where Boulder's at and what it is, and significantly more expensive. Definitely not the same commute. It's further away. It's further into the mountains. It is really a unique thing. And they're only continuing to build more in southern Castle Rock, which is amazing. So for me, not even close. It's Castle Rock.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up too, because Castle Rock is one of those places where when we have clients that are visiting or they're doing their initial exploratory trip to Colorado to really find the neighborhoods, even if they say, hey, Castle Rock is just a little too far south from us, one thing I ask is, hey guys, at least drive there. And we'll give them an address to drive because as you're coming in and you actually feel the drive and then you see the scenery, a lot of times it changes them.
And you got to learn to split the difference. So let's say Castle Rock is 37 minutes, which it is. And let's say, hey, guys, that's too far for us. Okay, what's not too far? 25 minutes isn't too far. Okay. Well, let's go to Castle Rock. Let's look at some things. And then it's really about identifying, is what I get in Castle Rock worth an extra 10 minutes? Because if you're already okay with 25, you don't count to 25. Are you willing to give an extra 10 for what you can have here and just kind of split the difference a little bit on what you guys are looking at versus looking at such big numbers when it comes to price points or when it comes to commute times? But by far, in living there, having a first person experience of that, amazing.
Now, before we move forward, there is a QR code popping up on the screen right now, along with a phone number. Cool. Scan the QR code for our relocation guide or text the word guide to the phone number on your screen now, and we'll give you the full breakdown of Castle Rock, Sterling Ranch. We'll give you our entire relocation guide.
It's 40 pages. It's free. It's for you. It's mobile friendly. It's going to give you guys everything you need to know when it comes to relocating to Denver, and it's going to cover a lot of these areas that we're talking about.
All right, question number 8. How are the schools? Which districts are best if you've got kids? Now, again, this is open. It's kind of subjective. I think a lot of kids might be focused on academics. Some might be focused on sports. Obviously, you want a good blend of both. Yeah. My kids are too young to go into school. I'm gonna let Will kick this one off, and then I'll give some perspective from some of our other clients.
And here's what I'm gonna give you guys some perspective on before we even get started into schools. We are licensed realtors, and there's some things that come legally with that. So we've had some questions on our lives before where people have asked us about crime rates. Legally, we can't even speak about crime rates because it's illegal, because it's subjective to our opinion of what we think high crime is. Me being a prior police officer, I might have a different perspective on, hey, what I consider high versus what you do. Same thing is gonna fall into place when it comes to school districts. It's not something that we can just give a grade to, and it's so subjective. So what we are going to do is talk about the fact that Colorado is probably in your top 3%, 5%, and just nationwide when it comes to school districts in general. Every area we've been talking about today that people have been gravitating to, the areas that we love, the areas that a lot of folks have chosen to move to, that they love, are all in at least the top 3, top 4 school districts in Colorado. So when you're talking about Cherry Creek School District, Douglas County, that's in your Castle Pines, Castle Rock area, when you're talking about Littleton School District. That being said, here's what I will say. Colorado is in your top 1%, 5%, 3% of national schools by far. Colorado's very prideful of its education. It's a great state for education overall. All the areas we've been speaking about specifically are in the top 3 to 5 school districts in all of Colorado. So when you've got Douglas County, that covers Highlands Ranch, Sterling Ranch, Castle Pines, Castle Rock. You've got Cherry Creek School District that covers parts of Centennial and Southeast Aurora. You've got Littleton School Districts that covers Littleton and out west. Boulder is the number 1 in Colorado overall, Boulder District, great schools, but overall everywhere we've been talking about has been amazing. If you guys want more specific information, we can get you guys that, but it's just hard to speak to our opinion legally when we're licensed realtors, and we're just not supposed to be doing that. But what I will say is, if you're looking in any area that we're talking about today, you're in great hands. If we're one of the top states in the nation as far as education, these are some of the top districts in one of the top states, so you're gonna be in good hands.
Yeah, and also worth noting here, guys, is that Colorado has an interesting school culture where we do have the majority of our Denver metro cities are in the top 5 best school districts in Colorado. Correct. But with that being said, there is a real strong culture out here of independent school choices, right? Like charter schools are huge, STEM schools are huge, private schools are huge. I'd say secondary to charter schools. And people really just out here, it's not necessarily one of these places where, man, I gotta live in this neighborhood to get to this school.
Correct.
It's more so people are choosing the neighborhood based on their lifestyle and then choosing the school that best fits their kid.
And just speaking to this because my daughter goes to Regis High School right now, what I will say is they have a ton of grants and a ton of scholarships for kids, which is private. They've got a ton of grants and scholarships out there for kids. Colorado's very proactive in like, hey, if you want your kid in a school, get him in that school. There's scholarship money, there's grant money. You just gotta know where to look. We've done a great job at finding some things like that for our daughter. She's had great grades up through her junior high career. Getting into school was great for her. She tested out really well at Regis. If you've got great kids and they're great students, have been doing a great job, you just want them in certain schools, but affordability can be on there. Personally reach out as you guys are going through the channel helping and us helping you make your move to Colorado. We've helped a handful of our clients also find the right resources to get their kids into certain schools as well. So definitely use this as a resource.
But bottom line, you've got nothing but endless possibilities and tons of good choices out here for schools.
Out of everything we're talking about today, education and where you're gonna be at, proximity, like probably one of the lower ones of your concern as far as everything else. I'd be more worried about inclement weather, living closer to the mountain or on the mountain than I would be about the school district I'm in. They're all pretty good out here.
All right, question number 9. What do people do for fun when it's not summer?
Everything.
Kind of.
Yeah, man. I mean, we get more sunny days in Florida. And I keep mentioning that because I think we're better than Florida. Go figure. There are things you can do even in inclement weather outside of just going and snowboarding or skiing. There's still plenty of stuff you can do city, but between like nightlife out here, whether it comes to all the national tour concerts that come here, the different breweries, beer connoisseurs, but you don't just have like, you know, party life, nightlife, club life. Like you've got great breweries, you got some great events that come here, you've got great things that go through the museum, pretty much just about anything you guys can think of. And then when you start looking at outdoors when it's not inclement weather with rock climbing and mountain climbing from beginner level all the way up through, you know, National Geographic magazine, anything here you guys can find. And what I will say is I think a lot of people just getting out and enjoying everything that there is to do in Colorado kind of makes everybody get along pretty well. Like nobody's too one side or the other and everybody kind of gets along and enjoys each other. You're gonna meet a lot of diversity here. You're gonna have a lot of fun here, meet a lot of different people from a lot of different places around the country. It makes us better.
To give you guys some specifics here, let's talk if you are like the weekend warrior type and you're looking for like real outdoor activities. During the, well, I'll talk summer and winter. Obviously winter time, you have all the snow sports, right? That's a given. In the summertime though, you have the whitewater rafting, you have kayaking, you're hiking, even just going up into the mountains for a walk. You have your 14ers.
Our food scene is awesome.
Climb.
Let him go white river water raft. I'm gonna be going and eating some food.
There we go.
We're gonna have some food while we're on 16th Street today.
So he's in the other category of the non-weekend warrior people. If you're weekend warrior people, all those activities, there's so much to do. They're amazing. They're as good as they look online. It's a blast.
I don't if you're more like a non-warrior,
weekend warrior, a weekend warrior.
A warrior. I have 3 kids.
Not a little
I'm
warrior.
worrying the weekend.
Will's a 7-day-a-week warrior.
No, I'm the weekend worrier. Like, where am I taking my kids? And are all their heads on? Are we okay?
1,000%.
Everybody's okay. We're Christmas shopping. We're school clothes shopping.
So
like,
if you're more like us, it is the food festivals. It's the Cherry Creek Art Festival. It's the farmers markets. It's the
Denver Bronco games.
It's the
things like that.
It's the countless parks to take your kids to on the weekend. Even in the winter time, there are a lot of places that have like winter specific activities, right? Especially on the holidays. You can go tubing up on the mountains. That's a blast to do with your family.
The brewery on Arapahoe Road does the fake snow.
Breckenridge Brewery.
Brewery.
Out in Littleton.
Out in Littleton. They do like a ski slope.
Yeah, like a little sled hill.
Yeah, and it's fake snow, a little sled hill, and it's awesome. People love it. So you can sit there and have a brewski.
The ice skating rinks.
The ice skating rinks downtown. They've got ice skating rinks at Southlands Mall and Northfield. A lot of really cool stuff.
And I would say too, when we're talking just activities, Will kind of alluded to it earlier about, we don't really have this like party nightlife lifestyle thing. Like, yeah, you'll have your young 20 people that go out to downtown and stuff, but Denver is more so like Sunday fun day. Like people want to go to their brunch, get their endless mimosas, have some really good food they can throw on their Instagram, go to the farmer's market afterwards. That's where Denver goes super hard, not necessarily the Friday night get crazy.
And listen, no disrespect to any other states or anywhere else. I feel like sometimes the over exuberant amount of like nightlife is because of their lack of anything else to do.
That's a great point.
No disrespect,
right?
Like I'm not trying to be, and some people love that. I'm 41, I've got a family, we like doing like the family thing, but regardless of what you guys are looking for, they have it. If you want to go camping, speaking to like the weekend warrior, if you want to go camping, you guys can rent RVs, you can rent camper vans, you can rent Airbnbs that are just built specifically for cabin and camping, and whether it's either end of the extreme of cabin to just in a tent and renting an RV or renting one of the vans, plenty of access to just things where, hey, I don't want to purchase this thing, but I do want to go experience fishing, and you can find plenty of places that rent this stuff out to you.
Side note, good pro tip for you, don't buy an RV when you move to Colorado. No. Give it a few seasons, rent a couple first. That's one of those things that people might buy.
They'd appreciate so bad.
Well, and then you're just not using it, you know? So yeah, pro tip, hold off on the RV purchase for at least a couple years. All right, now number 10, our final question here. What's something that nobody warns you about before moving to Denver?
I feel like people get warned about just about anything you can imagine, but I will say, like, you might get a cracked windshield out here. Like, you get a lot of, like, sometimes you get like a little bit of rocks on the road. They lay salt on the road, some things like that. Like, so even though our plows do a great job and it melts, like between temperature change and sometimes rock chips just coming up off the road, I've got a chipped one right now, I'm gonna get fixed. So hence why I'm saying that. I'd say that. I do think people get warned about the altitude, but I think it's just something that you've got to live through.
Yeah.
It's a struggle depending on who you are. Some people struggle with it a little bit more than others. I think still one of the unspoken things is getting sunburned in the winter, man. Like if you go up on the mountain and you got your goggles on, put some sunscreen on. I know it's freezing out, but the reflection off that snow,
that's true.
Man, you're gonna get it. You're gonna be a tomato face real quick. And from what I hear, frozen sunburn is significantly worse than the sunburn you're getting in the summer. So, and I think people don't warn you for that one because a lot of folks outside of ourselves, I don't think really mention it. When you think Colorado, you're thinking, oh, it's probably the marijuana or it's a Bronco fans. I don't think people are talking about winter sunburns, but when you're up at that level of altitude and it's sunny out, because we get so many sunny days, but there's plenty of snow to snowboard or ski on, you got to be careful.
Now for mine, you guys may or may not be familiar with this, but it's something that I think is definitely worth mentioning right here. The direction of your house matters. It matters a lot. So what I mean by that is just the way that the sun sits in relation to the state of Colorado. So for example, if your house is facing north, you're gonna have a north facing driveway that is literally in the shade all day long, right?
So when it snows and freezes over, it's staying.
Exactly what he said. So when it snows, you better get out there and shovel it, because if you drive over, it gets compacted, turns into ice. That ice will be there all winter long. On the flip side, if you buy a south facing house, your driveway is going to be in the sun all day long. And even with a good sized snowstorm, if you wait till 11 or 12 o'clock in the afternoon, your snow is going to be mostly melted.
If your house faces anywhere other than north, you're in good hands. If it does face north, the house that we had in Castle Rock on top of Diamond Ridge, it did face north. It was still worth it. It just means I had to be a little bit more diligent in making sure that I get that snow shoveled. Because if I didn't and it turned to ice, it's really hard to get rid of. But as long as I was out there shoveling it, if I had to go out there like during the really big snowstorms and shovel at night, before I went to bed, I just had to be a little bit more diligent about it. Versus like some of you that are just constantly in the sunlight with your driveway, and it snows, you're not too worried about it because the sun comes out and it kind of melts it. You're just not getting that when you face north. But I will say our home is still worth it. So it's not to say that you can't live facing north. Plenty of people do. Just make sure that we're aware of that, and making sure that the home is worth being a little bit more diligent. Make sure you've got some get you a snow blower, get you a couple broad level shovels, and you're gonna be more than okay.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, because depending on your ideal preferred lifestyle, like Will at that house, he had an awesome backyard, huge deck on the back. It looked like south and southwest with some gorgeous mountain views. So that is one house where, hey, it's like, I'll shovel the driveway if my backyard is sunny all day long. You could use that backyard all day long.
For a great point.
When you get the south facing home, you're gonna have an easier time shoveling the driveway, but your backyard is probably going to be covered in snow the majority of the winter.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, if there's anything else I can think, it's just warning you that we're really cool and we're licensed realtors. And as much as we love making these videos, we love more helping you with those real estate needs. So numbers that's popping up below. We are the guys who answer the phone calls, text messages, and the emails. So whether it's your relocation guy that we talked about earlier or just a direct phone call and asking us some specific questions on your move to Colorado, we would love to help you. And they didn't warn you that we're going to really love you when you get here.
That's right. That's right. So for now, I think we're going to walk 16th Street Mall.
Show you guys
I'm hungry now. I might have to get a bubble tea. And,
yeah, you should.
Yeah, but we're going to get after it, guys. Appreciate you watching. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Yes. Shout out to my wife. It's our 10-year anniversary today.
Hey.
I'm with my other wife. We're out here filming, Kate. So I love you. And I'm sorry I got to be with this wife instead of being with you. But we're out filming today. But shout out to Kate and the family. A decade is a long time. It's something to be proud of. We're very proud of it. Love and appreciate all of you that have supported our family through 100%. The transactions and allowing us to help you with your real estate needs and trusting us with your family. So from my family and our anniversary to yours, we love and appreciate all of you.
That's right. All right. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.